So I just got done watching Kamen Riders Saber, and overall, I think it was a pretty good first episode. It made a strong impression on me, and I'm curious to see where the series goes next because I really enjoy the motif and the theme of this series being storybooks and fantasy and dragons and stuff. I think it's gonna leave a strong impression on me. I really enjoyed Zero One, although Zero One had its ups and downs during the last half of it, but I'm curious to see where this next Kamen Rider series is going to go and what's going to happen next because the first episode has me intrigued and I'm definitely going to keep watching it and I'm definitely going to have reviews on the channel for Kamen Rider Saber, that is for sure. So without further ado, let's talk about Kamen Rider Saber, the ups, the downs, and my overall thoughts on the episode. So the episode opens up with a narrator, and it kind of reminds me of Kaku Ranger, where that series also had a narrator at the start of the episode. But this guy, I kind of get what he's doing, the whole theme, because it's a storybook motif. So he's sort of got the intro and the epilogue of the episode saying, oh, this is going to happen, and then this happened in the episode. So I don't know how many episodes they're going to do that for, but I get the feeling that storybook narrator guy is going to be a recurring character in the series. So the episode opens up with destruction and despair all around, with buildings being blown up, and you see a small child being sucked into a portal and someone reaching out to grab her, and that's our main hero, which I get the feeling that the main hero lost his sister or something, and that's also going to be in a reoccurring theme through the episode where, because he can't remember who that person was, so he must have lost his memory somehow. But you also do see the previous writer doing this big sacrifice to save everyone where he slams his sword into the ground, and then it flashes to the main writer, Touma, I believe his name is. Yes, Touma. And he wakes up and he can't remember what happened because it seems like a weird dream. And we're introduced to Touma, and Touma seems like a really cool guy. I mean, he's really laid back, he's really chilled. He's not too up in the air and quirky, sort of like Aruto that we got last season. So he's very much down to earth and calm. He's got a few fun personality quirks where he's really laid back and stuff, but he does have his purpose to fight and protect. Like his whole motto is, I'm going to be the one deciding this ending for this book, I believe it's called. So he does have motives to protect people and stuff like that, but overall he's really laid back and he's not that shouty and loud like the previous protagonists that we've had in Kamen Rider, well, the last one I just watched. So I'm enjoying Touma so far, but his friend May, really shouty, really annoying because I'm like, oh, here's the comical relief character, and every line the actress does, she's shouting, she's over the top. I get it, that's her personality, she's like the loud comedic one, but oh my god, like, I'm not saying I can't stand her, but her energy levels are way too high. Like, sometimes it's alright, but when she screams and yells, like in every other scene where she's a bit over the top, it does get a bit annoying. Like, you didn't get a laugh out of me, but I'm like, okay, this is the character, she's going to be the comedic relief in the episode. So yeah, that's those characters. But overall, it sets up the episode, like you find out what the villains are. The villains are very mysterious. Their outfits look very boy bandish, but we know what their motive is. Their motive is to use books to dominate the world. But I get the feeling that endgame, that plan will change throughout the episode, because usually villains and Rider series and Super Sentai series, they'll have one plan, but that plan will usually change, and it's usually adding to the bigger plan, or usually there's a bigger plan within the bigger plan. I think so, I don't know, I'm just guessing at this point. I get the feeling that they want to do more than just use books to dominate the world, because there must be some other motive behind it other than world domination. But because their motivation is using books to dominate the world and take over the place, that doesn't fly with Touma, because he believes that books are meant to bring joy to people, and the ones who are meant to enjoy books are humans, and seeing that books are being used for evil, he don't like that, and that doesn't fly with him. So that's going to be his driving factor to defeat the villains, because he doesn't want to see books being used to bring sadness to humans and the people he cares about. He wants books to make people happy, because they're always a fun story at the end of them and stuff like that. So he doesn't want to see books being used for evil. So now that I've talked about the characters and a bit of the plot, let's talk about the suit and the henshin transformation. Let's talk about the suit first. Overall, I think the suit looks really cool. I really do like the dragon motif. I really do like dragons and knights and Final Fantasy games and stuff like that. That thing is my jam. So this whole dragon knight thing with a big ass sword is really cool. I really do like it. And I really do like the henshin transformation. That really stood out for me. I think that looks really cool. I'm excited to see what other transformations he'll get later down the line. I don't want to spoil myself too much, but I really do like his very first form. I really do like it indeed. I think it looks really cool, and the red stands out, the helmet pops. Like, I'm really excited to see what else this form can do in battle, so maybe we'll find out later down the line in the next couple of episodes. But overall, I think his first transformation is really cool. The build up to the henshin or the transformation felt a bit underwhelming, maybe because I knew it was coming and we kind of knew the build up was there, but it is the first episode, so you're just waiting for him to transform in the first episode. But overall, I think it was a good first transformation. I just waited for it to happen, but we kind of knew the moment was coming. So after that, you get a big fight between Touma as Kamen Rider Saber and the golem monster, and it's a pretty good fight. It's a bit distracting halfway through the fight because they start jumping between the storybook pages, which is a really cool concept because the monster turns the page, they're fighting in the city, they're fighting in the desert, then they're fighting on top of some giant statue. That's really cool, but it is a bit distracting. The fight was cool, but overall it was a bit distracting with this big CG fight with the scenery they were fighting on. So it does look cool, but I think it was a little bit distracting for me. That's just my opinion. Maybe I'll change my mind later down the line, but I think the CGI, what they were fighting on, was kind of distracting. I mean, I'm cool with ground fights and stuff like that, but weird CG fights where the camera is moving about does look cool, but I just think the big CG statue they were fighting on was a bit distracting because it does stand out with how grey it is and the camera angles they use where it does stand out. That was kind of distracting for me, but overall the first fight was really cool and I enjoyed it quite a fair bit. But before Touma delivers the finishing blow to the monster of the week, it does take a weird turn in the fight where the monster grows big like it's something out of Super Sentai. Now, I don't know if Kamen Riders ever done this before. Someone in the comment section will probably correct me if I'm wrong, but the monster growing big was really, really weird, but also really cool because it turns into the Shadow of Colossus where you can probably have Touma like run up his arm and destroy it. That'd be really cool. I hope they do something like Shadow of the Colossus, but big monsters jumping up and slicing them up, that's always cool. I always like a Shadow of Colossus feel when it comes to cutting down giant monsters. That is always a lot of fun. So yeah, the monster's destroyed and the day is saved, and that's pretty much the first episode where everything's wrapped up in a little bow. You know, you're going to discover the mystery of this show later down the line, like the book world and stuff like that. But the episode does end with a dude on a dinosaur or some sort of weird beast. They name it, but I forgot what it is. It looks weird, a weird CGI fantasy creature. He comes into the bookstore writing it saying, hey, can you please hand over your books? So whoever this guy is, he's the pretty looking boy. He's definitely going to be a writer or the rival writer in the series. So I'm curious to see what this guy is going to do and what his motives is going to be. If he's going to be friend or foe or some sort of guy that just shows up to save the day when needed. So guess we'll find out later down the line. And yeah, that's pretty much my review of Kamen Rider Saber Episode 1. Overall, I think it was a pretty solid first episode. I had a lot of fun watching it. I'm very curious to see where the series is going to go next in the next couple of weeks and months and years. I am very curious where they're going to take this series because it left a strong impression on me. I'm definitely going to keep watching it. But I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are on Kamen Rider Saber if you watched the episode and if you enjoyed the episode or not. And if you want to see more Kamen Rider Saber reviews, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, take care, all that good stuff. Bye.